Alright guys, welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video with Ali Plays. Today we're going to talk about 10 rare champions you should definitely book. I think that people don't realize that rare skill books are easy to get compared to epic and legendaries, but they're still going to be a scarce resource. And that's especially true for new players. So in this video we're going to go over 10 of them, 10 rare champions that are worthy of your rare skill books. Obviously there are going to be more than 10 rare champions that are worthy of your skill books. So if one of your champions did not make this list, you most likely see them in a future video. So I'm saying this right now that there will be a video series, so you can expect more videos on this. And I've already done some videos on epics as well as legendaries. And yeah, let's just get started. So this is an obvious one because Apothecary is the best rare in the game, and he can actually be used anywhere in the game. So it is a good idea to use books on him. So the abilities that you actually want to max out are his A2 ability, which is Soothing Chant. Heals a target ally by 35% HP, and this heal can be critical. So if you actually have him built with some crit, his heal can be critical, but crit damage does not increase how much he heals. Just give him more heals. And then it's a 3-turn cooldown. When max out is going to be 2 turns, so definitely you want to book this ability. And also his Boon of Speed ability that places a 30% increased speed buff on allies for 2 turns. And he fills the turn meter of allies by 15%. And if you max this out, it's going to be a 3-turn cooldown. So you definitely want to max this out. Arguably, you don't even have to max this out. It just does more damage, and he's not really a damage dealer. If you're going to use him in clan boss or dungeons, most of his damage is going to be coming from Giant Slayer if you're actually running him with Giant Slayer. So yeah, if you do have Apothecary, definitely book him, especially if you are new to the game. He is one of the best rares in the game. And yeah, don't be afraid to use your books on him. So if you've actually been following some guys, then you most likely have already chosen Kale as your starter champion. And the most important ability to book on Kailas is A2 for campaign farming, because you want him to do that more damage with this ability, which is his big damage dealing ability right here. And yeah, that's going to help you in campaign farming as well as early game arena. And for his A3, you actually want to book this for clan boss. So it attacks 4 times at random and has a 40% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. So 5% is the big poison debuff. And you actually want to boost his chance of landing that. So it's going to be a 50% chance to land it, and you want to decrease the cooldown. So cooldown -1, it's going to be a 4-turn cooldown. So you definitely want to book this ability. So you can basically place 4 poisons if you can proc it. So it's arguably that you wouldn't want to upgrade this, but I would actually do it for more damage in terms just for general usability in the game. If you're new to the game, if you're going to use him in clan boss, then it's a waste of a slot. So if you can get a better poisoner, because it's a 2.5% poison, and if you make that a 100% chance, you're going to be wasting slots on the clan boss. You're only allowed 10 debuffs on him. So you're better off having 5% poisons instead of the 2.5%. But yeah, generally, it is okay to book this. So don't be afraid of that. And if you want to max him out, it's going to require 14 rare skill books. Next champion is Maiden. So she is actually worthy of books. Her best ability is her A3 ability. It is actually one of the best in the game. And it's actually on a rare champion, so that's pretty crazy. It's an AoE that has a 75% chance. If you max it out, it's going to be 100% chance of placing decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. And it's going to be on a 3-turn cooldown, which is amazing. So you can actually run her in arena, run her in dungeons. Decreased defense is going to help you clear the waves much faster. Her A2 ability, technically you don't need to book any of these, but I would do it just for the extra damage since she is an attack-based champion. So definitely use books on Maiden. She's crazy. So next up we have Fellhound. So Fellhound is a void champion, so he is kind of hard to get. This guy actually needs 7 books, which is pretty low compared to other rares. Look at his skills. He has an AoE on his A1, and that's his only attacking ability, as you can see. And he has a 25% chance of placing decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, and you can actually boost that up to a 35% chance. His damage is based on defense and attack, which is kind of weird, but I think it's better off building him with defense. And he can actually be used as a campaign farmer as well. So he is pretty good. His A2 ability places a 7.5% continuous heal buff and a reflect damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. So this is good for Fire Knight. Keep your team alive. And you can make that a 2-turn cooldown when maxed out. So this ability is very good to book. His deflect ability, he places block damage buff on an ally for 1 turn. That is amazing. And that can be a 3-turn cooldown. And yeah, he's very, very good. So definitely book this guy, and he doesn't require too many books. So Coffin Smasher is next. So quick note, make sure you guys only book him if you need a triple hit A1 with a 50% decreased attack. Most people do need that, but some people do have Tyrell or Sepulchre Sentinel Jarek, but they don't have triple hits. This guy actually has a triple hit. But this guy is actually ridiculous because he actually needs 14 books to max out. Let's take a look at skills. So triple hit, as I said, A1. So each hit actually has a chance of placing that 50% decreased attack. And if you max that out, it's going to be 30% chance. So you have a 30% chance 3 times of placing decreased attack, which is pretty big for Clan Boss. So he's definitely a budget champion for Clan Boss. His A2 ability, he attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. If you upgrade this ability, he's going to increase his chance of placing that HP burn. It's going to be a 75% chance, and it allows you to do more damage. And his passive ability does not need any books. It is very good. It decreases the damage enemies inflict with AoE attacks by 5%. So overall, he is very good. Definitely worth booking if you need somebody good for Clan Boss. And I've seen people actually use him in Ultra Nightmare, so he is very good. So Bulwark now. So Bulwark definitely needs books. But if you're going to use him solely as a debuff extender in Clan Boss, then you do not need any books on him. Since his debuffs only provide weak versions of Weaken. And since he is a rare, his HP burn will not do as much damage as a legendary or an epic. If you look at his abilities, he places 50% chance of... He places the Weaken. It's a double hit. And also HP burn, as I said, on a 3-turn cooldown. His passive ability is what makes him really shine, is probably why a lot of people use him. So when he's attacked, he has a 30% chance of extending the duration of all debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn. So he is very good for Clan Boss. He's not really used anywhere else. People don't really use him anywhere else other than Clan Boss. I mean, you can, but like look at his reviews. Just Clan Boss. Everything else is very low. So yeah, definitely book him, only if you need him from Clan Boss. If you don't, then you don't need to book him. And if you're only going to use him for this role, for his debuff extension, then don't even use any books on him. And yeah, just ignore this part of the video then. Number 7, we have Aethel. So Aethel actually needs 12 skill books to max out. She has a triple hit on her A1, and what's cool about her is that she has the strong version of Weaken on it, and it lasts for 2 turns. And if you max it out, it's going to be a 100% chance of placing that Weaken. So the Weaken is actually very good. It helps you out in campaign in the beginning of the game, so it is very good to have. And she is one of the starter heroes. Her AoE ability actually does a lot of damage and has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. So that is very good. So you definitely want to increase that damage, boost that damage further with books. And her higher blessing ability, you definitely want to make that a 4-turn cooldown. So this basically gives her an extra turn, which will reduce the cooldown of this ability, so she can use her AoE much more often. So she places increased attack as well as increased defense if she has less than 50% HP, and she gets an extra turn. So that's what makes her very good. So definitely book Aethel if you have her. I was using her as my campaign farmer for the longest time. I started off the game with Gallic, and then when I got Aethel, I was using her. I was using her everywhere in the game. So next up is Reliquary Tender, the lady with a weird name. So she's actually a very useful support champion that will help a lot of budget comps complete stage 20 dungeons. So let's go over her skills. Her A1 ability has a weak version of decreased attack, but that's just a bonus. And then she has a 50% chance of placing that decreased attack when maxed out. So that will actually help you with dungeons. The 25% less damage that the bosses do is good. A2 ability removes all debuffs from all allies, which is crazy in itself. And then she places a continuous heal buff on them for 2 turns. And then you can see over here, it's going to reduce the cooldown. So 5-turn cooldown, it's going to reduce it by 2, so it's going to be 3 turns. So definitely very good to book. And then her last ability only requires 1 book. She revives an ally with 30% HP and fills up turn rate by 30%. So that's going to be a 5-turn cooldown when maxed out, so definitely very good. And she only needs, I can't say only because there's actually a lot of books. She needs 11 books to max out. So if you only need her for these abilities right here, you can get away with 3 books, but it is random, so some books might fall into this A1 ability. So number 9, we have Coldheart. So not a lot of people have Coldheart, but if you do, then book her. She is a legendary tiered rare champion. She's used in Spider's 20 teams for nuking. So if you look at her A1 ability, very good for Fire Knight, quadruple hit, and then she can also place heal reduction. So you definitely want to boost that chance of placing that heal reduction. I mean, it is 4 times, but you definitely want to boost it. So it's 35% chance to place a heal reduction 4 times. That's crazy. So she has 4 chances of doing that. And then she does more damage. This ability doesn't really do a lot of damage. Her A2 ability is an AoE. So this will actually help you out in dungeons a bit. That can place decreased accuracy. So that's actually pretty good for the first 2 waves in dungeons. And if the target is under heal reduction, it places poison. So that is just a bonus. Most likely that's not going to happen. It doesn't happen often. And then you definitely want to book this for more damage, as well as get that cooldown to 3 turns. Heart Seeker is her best ability. Actually, I don't even know, man. These 2 abilities are both good. Heartseeker. I'll go with Heartseeker. She attacks one enemy, decreases the target's turn meter by 100%. And then she has an extra 30% chance of inflicting critical hit, so you can build her with 70% crit rate. And then that will be 100% when she uses this ability. And then what's crazy about this ability is damage based on enemy max HP. And you definitely want to book it. It does more damage, plus 10%, plus 15%. And the most important thing is taking that cooldown down to 4 turns instead of 5 turns. So yeah, definitely book Coldheart. I don't know what you guys are waiting for and why is she in your vault. So I had to give the last spot to my boy Butler. So he was my campaign farmer for the longest time until I got Ray, which is, I don't know how long ago. That was like a month or 2 ago where I got Ray. This guy needs all the damage he can get from the book upgrades, so definitely want to book him. And this especially, he needs all the damage he can get from the book upgrades, and the debuff chance is actually very good as well. Let's look over his skills. So all of his abilities are AoEs. So this one has a block cooldowns debuff for 1 turn. So you're doing this just for the bonus damage. The block cooldown is not really important, but it does kind of help when you're clearing campaign. Competing brutal campaign, when that Lord Shazar pops up, you can block cooldowns on his abilities. This AoE ability has a 50% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. So decreased speed is also going to help you with farming. And you can increase that chance up to 75%. And it's going to be on a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out. And the last ability, which is one I really like, is this. It's an AoE that has a 75% chance, 100% when maxed out, of placing decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. He also has a 100% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. So decreased attack and decreased defense is very good. And he does more damage if you max it out, and it's going to be a 4-turn cooldown. So he's definitely worth the books, unless you already have a legendary farmer. Early game, you can actually use this guy in Arena from nuking, so he is very good. So that was 10 rare champions you should definitely book. And obviously there's going to be more rare champions that you should book. I will be doing another video. So if you guys found this video helpful or entertaining in any way, make sure you guys drop a like. If you guys are new to the channel and you'd like to see, then consider subscribing. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm Tyrone. I need everybody to subscribe to the homie Ali Al Plays. And that's non-negotiable.